First contact and fatal mistake. The red dwarf star of Proxima Centauri cast an eerie crimson glow across the surface of humanity's first extrasolar colony. Established just 15 years ago, Nova Haven had grown from a small research outpost into a thriving mining colony of 5,000 souls. The planet's rich deposits of rare earth elements and exotic minerals had transformed what began as a scientific endeavor into humanity's first interstellar industrial center. Director Samira Kaur stood at the observation deck of the colony's administrative tower, watching mining drones carve methodical patterns into the rusty landscape below. The colony had just celebrated its 15th anniversary, and production targets were being exceeded across all sectors. Everything was proceeding according to plan. Until it wasn't. "Director, we've detected an anomalous object in orbit," reported Marcus Chen, the colony's chief of security. His voice carried the forced calm of someone trying not to sound alarmed. "It's not one of ours." Kaur's heart skipped a beat. In 15 years of colonial operations, they had never encountered anything that wasn't human-made in this system. "Show me," she commanded, following Chen to the command center where a holographic display showed a sleek vessel unlike any human design. Its hull seemed to absorb rather than reflect light, giving it a shadowy appearance against the stars. "It's approximately 200 meters in length," Chen explained. "No recognizable propulsion system. No response to standard hailing frequencies. It appeared suddenly on our sensors 20 minutes ago, already in orbit." "First contact protocol," Kaur stated firmly, falling back on her training. Humanity had prepared for this moment for generations, ever since the first radio telescopes scanned the stars. "Alert Earth immediately, then assemble the first contact team." Within hours, Dr. Elias Okafor, the colony's chief xenobiologist, had prepared his team for humanity's first meeting with extraterrestrial intelligence. They launched a small, unarmed shuttle displaying universal mathematical sequences and peaceful imagery on exterior screens. "We're approaching the vessel," Dr. Okafor reported from the shuttle. His voice crackled through the command center speakers, where Kaur and her team listened intently. "No response to our transmissions, but we're detecting energy fluctuations along their hull. Could be scanning technology or—" The transmission ended in a burst of static. "Shuttle status," Kaur demanded, her knuckles white, as she gripped the edge of the console. "Gone," Chen whispered, staring at the sensor readings in disbelief. They just atomized it. No warning. Before anyone could process this horror, the unknown ship began to move, accelerating toward the edge of the system. But not before launching 3 smaller objects toward the colony. "Incoming projectiles," Chen shouted. "Impact in 3 minutes." The objects struck with precision, not at the colony itself, but at its perimeter. They burrowed into the ground and began to emit a powerful signal into space. "They're beacons," concluded Dr. Maya Williams, the colony's communications specialist. "They're broadcasting our location across a wide spectrum. It's like they're marking us." Kaur felt a chill run down her spine. For what? The answer came 7 days later, when long-range sensors detected a fleet of vessels similar to the scout ship, 13 in total, on a direct course for Proxima Centauri. Their estimated arrival time: 2 weeks. Earth responded immediately to Nova Haven's distress call. The nearest military vessel was the UES Nemesis, a prototype warship commanded by Ilara Reeves, a tactical genius whose unorthodox strategies had made her both famous and controversial within Fleet Command. "We can't evacuate 5,000 colonists in 2 weeks, Reeves stated during her first briefing with Kaur, her holographic image flickering slightly across 25 trillion kilometers of space. "And a single ship, even the Nemesis, can't stand against 13 alien vessels of unknown capability." "Then we're doomed," Kaur concluded grimly. A slow smile spread across Commander Reeves' face. "I didn't say that, Director. I just said we can't fight them conventionally." Over the next week, Commander Reeves worked closely with Nova Haven's leadership via quantum entanglement communications. Every detail about the colony, from its infrastructure to its mining equipment, was analyzed for potential strategic value. These aliens, whoever they are, clearly see us as prey, Reeves explained during one planning session. They sent a scout. It confirmed we were vulnerable, and now they're coming to hunt. But they don't know humans. We were never just prey. The aliens, dubbed Vraxians, after the constellation their scout ship had fled toward, had made a fundamental miscalculation. They had observed human technology and concluded we were easy targets. What they failed to understand was humanity's most dangerous weapon: adaptability. When the Nemesis arrived at Proxima Centauri 3 days before the Vraxian fleet, it brought not a battalion of Marines, but a team of 50 specialized engineers and tactical experts. They immediately set to work transforming the mining colony into a battlefield of humanity's design. They expect us to either flee or present a conventional defense, Reeves explained to the assembled colony leadership. The commander stood before them, tall and imposing, her dark eyes reflecting the determination that had become legendary throughout Earth's space forces. We'll do neither. Nova Haven's massive mining lasers, designed to cut through planetary crust, were repositioned and modified. Excavation explosives were reconfigured into space mines. Mining drones were reprogrammed for combat maneuvers. The colony's electromagnetic ore separator was transformed into a makeshift weapon that could potentially disrupt alien systems. We don't know their technology or biology, Reeves admitted, but we know physics. We know chemistry. And we know they don't expect us to fight back effectively. On the final night before the Vraxian arrival, Commander Reeves addressed the colonists who had volunteered to remain and fight. Most families with children had been evacuated to underground shelters on the far side of the planet, but 3,000 colonists had stayed, each now assigned to emergency response teams, engineering crews, or makeshift defense forces. Tomorrow, we face an enemy who thinks they know what we are, Reeves told them, her voice carrying across the colony's main plaza. They believe we are just another species to be hunted, catalogued, and conquered. They saw our peaceful approach as weakness, our scientific curiosity as naivety. She paused, looking across the sea of determined faces. Miners, scientists, engineers, administrators, none of them soldiers by training, all of them warriors by necessity. The Vraxians have hunted other species before. That much is clear from their methodical approach. But humanity has something they've never encountered. Reeves' voice hardened. We have evolved not just as prey, but as apex predators ourselves. We have climbed from caves to stars through innovation, cooperation, and a relentless drive to overcome every obstacle. And when threatened, she smiled, but there was no warmth in it, only the cold promise of what was to come. When threatened, humanity reveals its true nature. The Vraxians came looking for prey. Tomorrow, they'll discover they've disturbed a predator's den instead. The Vraxian fleet appeared exactly where predicted, emerging from what appeared to be a fold in space itself. 13 ships arranged in a hunting formation, sleek and predatory, their black hulls absorbing the light of Proxima Centauri like shadows given form. From the command center, now relocated to a reinforced bunker beneath the colony, Director Core and Commander Reeves watched the alien ships approach on the holographic display. They're scanning us, reported Dr. Williams. Very thorough scans, covering the entire spectrum. Let them look, Reeves replied calmly. They'll see exactly what we want them to see. What the Vraxians saw was a seemingly disorganized colony with minimal defenses, its population in disarray, attempting to evacuate in outdated shuttles that lumbered away from the main settlement. The alien fleet spread out, positioning themselves to systematically destroy the colony's infrastructure. Aboard the lead Vraxian vessel, Fleet Commander Thozak observed the human settlement with disdain. These soft creatures had responded to the elimination of their greeting party exactly as expected, with fear and confusion. Their primitive weapons posed no threat to Vraxian technology, and their attempts to flee were pitiful. Thozak had overseen the subjugation of 7 sentient species, each now serving their rightful place in the Vraxian hierarchy. These humans would soon join them once a suitable demonstration of Vraxian power had been made. "Begin the culling," Thozak ordered. "Target their escape vessels first. Let them witness their futility before we take the colony." The Vraxian weapons charge, ready to deliver death from above to yet another species that had been found wanting. But Commander Ilara Reeves had spent her entire career preparing for this moment, though she hadn't known it until now. As the alien weapons powered up, she gave a single command: initiate Operation Mongoose. And below, on the surface of humanity's first extrasolar home, thousands of colonists moved with purpose and precision, ready to teach the galaxy's hunters what it truly meant to face humanity at bay. The hunter becomes the hunted. The first phase of Operation Mongoose began not with a bang, but with silence. As the Vraxian weapons targeted the fleeing shuttles, their sensors suddenly detected nothing. Every shuttle signature vanished simultaneously from their scanners. Aboard the Vraxian command ship, Fleet Commander Thozak chittered in annoyance. "Scanning malfunction," he hissed to his technical officer. "Recalibrate immediately." But the technical officer's manipulator appendages worked frantically across the control interface with growing confusion. "No malfunction detected, Commander. The targets are simply gone." What the Vraxians couldn't know was that the evacuation shuttles were actually mining drones fitted with holographic projectors and signal enhancers. The moment they'd been targeted, they'd activated electromagnetic pulse generators, a technology the mining colony used to dislodge ore from magnetic rock formations. The pulses weren't powerful enough to damage the Vraxian ships, but they created a momentary sensor blind spot. In that brief window of invisibility, the real attack began. From concealed silos across the colony's perimeter, 20 modified mining lasers fired simultaneously. Designed to cut through planetary crust, they had been recalibrated to focus their energy at longer ranges. The beams struck the nearest Vraxian ship with surgical precision, targeting what Commander Reeves had identified as likely propulsion nodes. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. The alien vessel spun wildly, venting atmosphere from multiple breaches. Its sleek design, optimized for predatory speed, offered little structural redundancy when key systems were compromised. "First blood to us," Reeves remarked coldly, watching the damaged ship struggle to stabilize. "Now for Phase 2. The Vraxian fleet reacted with predatory swiftness, scattering to avoid presenting clustered targets. Their weapons discharged toward the laser emplacements, obliterating them in flashes of destructive energy. But the humans had already abandoned those positions, the lasers left on automated targeting systems. What happened next confounded the Vraxian tactical doctrines. Instead of retreating deeper into the colony's defensive perimeter, as any sensible prey would do, the humans attacked. From concealed hangars built into the mining quarries, 60 small craft emerged, maintenance skiffs modified with explosive charges and rudimentary shield generators salvaged from the colony's atmospheric processors. Swarm Pattern Delta ordered Reeves through the colony's tactical network. Priority targets are their sensor arrays and weapon emplacements. The human craft moved with reckless speed, weaving unpredictable patterns that the Vraxian targeting system struggled to track. These weren't military pilots but mining drone operators using skills honed by years of navigating treacherous asteroid fields and planetary crevices. Aboard his flagship, Thozak watched in disbelief as the supposedly primitive humans executed complex tactical maneuvers. 3 more Vraxian vessels had sustained significant damage, their sleek forms now marred by scorched hulls and flickering shield harmonics. "This is impossible," he snarled. "They are barely space-capable. Their colony shows no military infrastructure." His second-in-command, Vextrol, observed the battle with growing concern. "The scout's assessment appears incomplete, Commander. These humans are utilizing mining equipment as weapons, and their tactics, He hesitated, reluctant to give voice to the disturbing thought. Their tactics suggest they've studied our approach. They're countering our hunting formation specifically. Absurd. Those act dismissed. They've had no opportunity to study Vraxian warfare, concentrate fire on their command center, and end this embarrassment. But the Vraxians couldn't locate the colony's command center. Every structure that matched typical command profiles had been evacuated and rigged with transponders mimicking human life signs. When the aliens destroyed these decoys, they hit nothing but empty buildings and sophisticated holographic emitters. Meanwhile, the real command center, buried deep beneath the colony's main processing facility, continued coordinating the defense with methodical precision. "They're trying to locate us through our communications," reported Dr. Williams, monitoring the alien scanning patterns. "They're getting more sophisticated in their search algorithms." Commander Reeves nodded. "Time for the next phase." "Director Kor, are your people ready?" Kor's expression was grim but determined. "They've been ready since you proposed this insanity, Commander. Just give the word." Reeves opened a channel to all defense teams. "Execute Operation Mongoose, Phase 3. Across the colony, mining charges previously planted in strategic locations detonated in careful sequence. Not aimed at the Vraxian ships directly, that would have been futile against their shields, but at specific geological formations surrounding the colony. Massive dust clouds erupted from the planet's surface, engulfing the lower atmosphere in a swirling maelstrom of mineral particulates. The dust wasn't just for concealment. It contained processed neodymium particles, a byproduct of the colony's refining operations that played havoc with certain electromagnetic frequencies. The Vraxian sensors, already struggling to adapt to human tactics, now faced complete disruption. Their ships are equipped with breathing apparatus designed for oxygen-nitrogen atmospheres, Reeves explained as they watched the aliens' formations falter. They'll be forced to maintain altitude above the dust cloud or risk system contamination. But the real trap was just beginning. As the Vraxian fleet ascended to escape the dust, they moved directly into the kill zone Reeves had prepared days earlier. "Activate the orbital platforms," she ordered. 6 massive orbital mining platforms, previously cloaked by the planet's magnetic field, powered up simultaneously. These platforms, normally used to process ore in zero gravity, had been transformed into crude but effective weapon systems. Their electromagnetic accelerators, designed to move refined metals between processing stages, now hurled specially designed projectiles at the Vraxian ships. The projectiles weren't explosives. They were worse. Each contained a payload of self-replicating nanobots, originally created to repair microfractures in mining equipment. Reprogrammed by Nova Haven's engineering team, they now targeted the unique molecular structure of Vraxian hull materials, systematically disassembling them at the atomic level. 3 Vraxian ships were hit directly. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, horrifyingly, their hulls began to dissolve. "What is this?" Thozak demanded, watching in disbelief as sections of his fleet's outer hulls simply vanished, exposing inner compartments to space. What weapon could do this? "Commander," Vextroll's voice had lost all its previous confidence, "I believe we have severely underestimated these humans." On the colony's command center display, Reeves watched impassively as the Vraxian fleet's coordinated attack pattern disintegrated into chaos. 7 of their 13 ships were now heavily damaged or completely disabled. "They're retreating," Chen reported, unable to keep the amazement from his voice. "The undamaged ships are pulling back to regroup." "Not retreating," Reeves corrected. "Hunting predators don't retreat. They're reassessing, preparing a new approach." She toggled the communication system. "All units, prepare for their counterattack. They'll be more cautious now, more methodical." She was right. The 6 remaining fully functional Vraxian vessels formed a tight defensive formation and began a systematic bombardment of the colony's surface, targeting infrastructure and defensive positions with brutal efficiency. "They're adapting," Kor observed tensely, "learning our patterns." Reeves nodded, as we knew they would. But adaptation goes both ways. She opened a secure channel to the UES Nemesis, which had remained hidden on the far side of Proxima Centauri throughout the battle. Captain Rivera, execute final phase. The Nemesis, Earth's most advanced warship, emerged from its concealment behind the planet. Unlike the jury-rigged defenses of Nova Haven, the Nemesis represented the pinnacle of human military technology, a fact deliberately concealed from the Vraxians until this moment. The warship struck with devastating precision, its advanced targeting systems identifying and neutralizing the Vraxian vessels' key defensive systems before they could react to this new threat. 2 more alien ships were crippled in the initial assault. Fleet Commander Thozak stared at the tactical display in utter disbelief. What had begun as a routine culling operation against a supposedly primitive species had turned into a military disaster. 8 Vraxian ships destroyed or disabled, and now a human warship of unexpected sophistication was systematically dismantling his remaining forces. "Retreat," he ordered finally, the word bitter in his mouth. "Full withdrawal. Back to the fold point." "Commander," Vextrol objected, "the Conclave will never." "The Conclave will hear of a new species," Thozak interrupted, "one unlike any we have encountered before. One that does not behave as prey should." He watched as another Vraxian ship succumbed to the Nemesis's weapons, one that we have gravely underestimated. As the 4 surviving Vraxian vessels fled toward their spatial fold point, Commander Reeves ordered the Nemesis to pursue, but not to destroy. "One must survive," she instructed Captain Rivera. "They need to carry our message back." The Nemesis disabled 2 more Vraxian ships with precision strikes, leaving their life support intact but their propulsion systems irreparably damaged. Only Thozak's command vessel and 1 escort were permitted to reach the fold point and escape. In the aftermath, as rescue teams retrieved survivors from the disabled Vraxian ships and Nova Haven began the process of rebuilding, Commander Reeves stood with Director Kor on the colony's observation deck, surveying the damage. "They'll return, won't they?" Kor asked, watching teams work to repair the colony's infrastructure. "Eventually," Reeves confirmed, "but not as conquerors. Not anymore." Before the 2 surviving Vraxian ships had fled, Reeves had transmitted a final message to them, a comprehensive record of the battle, showing how a supposedly primitive mining colony had defeated the galaxy's self-proclaimed apex predators. Along with it, she'd sent the coordinates of Earth and all human colonies, a complete technical breakdown of human military capabilities, and a simple statement: "We know where you live now, too. We could have destroyed you all. Remember that before you hunt humans again." 3 months later, a single Vraxian vessel returned to Proxima Centauri. It carried not weapons but diplomats, requesting formal communication with these strange creatures who had done the impossible, turned from prey to predator in the span of a single encounter. Commander Reeves, now appointed Earth's official representative to alien species, met with the Vraxian delegation aboard a neutral station in orbit around Proxima Centauri. The aliens' body language conveyed caution bordering on fear, a dramatic change from their previous predatory confidence. "The Conclave has reviewed your demonstration," the lead Vraxian diplomat stated, mandibles clicking nervously. "It has been determined that humans represent a unique category of sentient life." "And what category is that?" Reeves asked evenly. The Vraxians seemed to struggle with the concept. Neither prey nor competitor. Something new. Something to be approached with caution and respect. Reeves allowed herself a small smile. "That's a good start. And the other species you've subjugated?" The diplomat's compound eyes shifted uncomfortably. "Discussions regarding their status have begun within the Conclave." "Accelerate those discussions," Reeves suggested, her tone making it clear this was not a request. "Humanity is interested in peaceful relations with all sentient species, including yours, but we protect our own, and we will not tolerate predation on any intelligent life." As the Vraxian delegation departed, Dr. Okafor, who had survived the destruction of the first contact shuttle by ejecting in an escape pod seconds before it was destroyed, joined Reeves at the viewport. "You've established humanity's reputation among the stars in a single stroke," he observed, watching the alien ship depart. "I'm not sure whether to be impressed or terrified by what that reputation is." Reeves considered this. "Perhaps both is appropriate. We came to the stars as explorers and builders." She gestured toward Nova Haven. Visible on the planet below, its lights shining against the crimson-tinted landscape. "But we survived on Earth by being adaptable, ingenious, and, when necessary, utterly relentless." She turned from the viewport, her expression resolute. "The galaxy should know both sides of humanity. Our hands can build wonders or wield unimaginable destruction. Which one they encounter depends entirely on how they approach us." As news of the encounter spread throughout human space, colonies redoubled their defense preparations while simultaneously extending diplomatic overtures to the stars. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy not with a whisper but with a roar, a warning to any who might mistake human ingenuity for weakness or human curiosity for vulnerability. The message was clear: mess with humanity at your peril. We are not your prey. We are not your conquest. We are humanity, and we will not go quietly into the night.